everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome back to Let's Play WWF Royal Rumble. We are now playing the Super Nintendo version to play as the Super Nintendo exclusive characters, and I'm actually going to do post-commentary again because I didn't like my live commentary. I was focusing more on the match than the commentary, and it ended up not being to my satisfaction. So, you know the drill of how we're going to show off all these characters, all 5 of them. One-on-one, one player, one fall. We're going to set the difficulty to 5 for now, and we're going to let the computer choose the opponent. For Super Nintendo, we have Macho Man Randy Savage, Super Nintendo exclusive Mr. Perfect, The Undertaker, Bret the Hitman Hart, Super Nintendo exclusive Tatanka, Crush, who now has a different photo, Super Nintendo exclusive Nature Boy Ric Flair, The Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, The Bad Guy Razor Ramon, Super Nintendo exclusive Yokozuna, The Narcissist Lex Luger, and Super Nintendo exclusive Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase. And for this first part of this video, I'm going to be playing as the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who was already out of the WWE by the time that this game came out. Flair would appear in 1991 for the first time in the WWE. Bobby the Brain Heenan would be his financial advisor, while Mr. Perfect would be his executive consultant, since he was busy doing commentary and not wrestling due to a back injury that put him out for more than a year. Flair would win the WWE Championship twice. The first time at the 1992 Royal Rumble, where it was vacant. He would soon lose it to Savage, and he would feud with Savage, and of course, Mr. Perfect would help him out with that. At SummerSlam 1992, Flair and Savage kept telling both Savage and his opponent, the Ultimate Warrior, that they were in the opposite man's corner. When SummerSlam came and went, however, it was revealed to be a trick by Flair and Perfect to basically get Randy Savage's goat. And it apparently worked, because on September 1st, 1992, Ric Flair would win the WWE title back from Savage for a second time. Only thing is, he would lose it back to Bret Hart, and then that would be the beginning of the end. And now it's time to show off the figure 4. You basically want to have your opponent down, press R to down opponent's legs, and you'll do the not the perfect plex, that's the next guy. The figure 4 leg lock. How can you do a perfect flex from the ground? Anyway, you would think that Flair and Perfect would still be partners shortly after that, but Flair wanted out of the WWE at that time because he felt he would be more popular and get more popular if he went back to WCW. So, they actually had Perfect turn on Flair. It was supposed to be at Survivor Series 1992, Savage and the Ultimate Warrior versus Flair and Perfect. Only thing is, Ultimate Warrior got fired a second time. And so that was the perfect opportunity to help Flair go back to WCW by having Perfect turn against him, say he had respect for Savage, and well, that would basically make Mr. Perfect a good guy. Speaking of Mr. Perfect, we're going to be playing as him now on a difficulty of 7. And thankfully, Super Nintendo version is a lot easier, as you'll soon see. And we're also facing Yokozuna. Perfect. Pun slightly intended. So, Perfect became a good guy. He turned on Heenan, actually slapped him when Heenan told him to do what he was told, and of course putting his hands on him. And we had Perfect and Savage versus Flair and his new partner, Razor Ramon, who was just starting out. Mr. Perfect and Randy Savage would win the match by countout. Actually, not countout, disqualification. Blech, I'm thinking something else. And that would set in motion the feud between Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair. 1993 began with Mr. Perfect eliminating Flair in the Royal Rumble. Shortly after that, on the first ever episode of... Not the first ever episode, he wasn't on there. The third ever episode of Raw. Mr. Perfect would beat Flair in a loser leaves WWF match. And of course he would hit that perfect pledge, which you've just seen. And of course, if he does it again, I'll probably tell you how to do it. Anyway, after that, oh, there's that. No, that's not that perfect plex. There's the perfect plex. There's when I do it. Press R on tie-up when your opponent's energy is in the red during a tie-up, and you will hit the perfect plex. After he kicked Flair out of the WWE, he would feud with the narcissist Lex Luger, who was brought in by, of course, Bobby the Brain Heenan, who was actually ticked off with Perfect turning on him, and they would fight at WrestleMania 9. Lex Luger would beat him by pinfall, even though Perfect's feet were near the ropes, and he would chase after Luger for getting that crooked victory, and that would be the end of the feud, because while he was chasing after Luger backstage, he was attacked by Shawn Michaels. He'd feud with Shawn Michaels for a while, but he would lose to him at SummerSlam by countout in a match for the Intercontinental Championship, allowing Michaels to retain. Perfect would then lose in the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament to Bret Hart, who ended up winning the whole thing, and he would leave before Survivor Series and make sporadic appearances afterwards because his injuries flared up again. And that's the story of Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect and their tie towards one another. Join me next time where I play as two more wrestlers and talk about what they were doing in 1993, the first half of it. So until then, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!